8:19 on your way to work on a Friday morning, a football Friday kicking off this great sports weekend. This is Lee Hamilton along with 54, the linebacker Billy Ray Smith. He's co-hosting with us. Time to talk to the Aztecs. San Diego State head coach Rocky Long joins us on the Western Exterminator hotline. I'd say good morning, but I'm sure it's not been a good couple of weeks for you, Rocky. I'm kind of surprised this 0-2 start. I don't know if you're shocked or disappointed. Go ahead, describe your emotion about where your team is.
Well, it's always a good morning when you're my age and you wake up. So, I think I'm very surprised. I mean, we're very disappointed. We can't believe what's happened to us as coaches, and I'm sure the players feel exactly the same way. We thought going into the season we were going to have a really good football team, and I'm absolutely surprised. I mean, I'm not shocked because I've been here before. I've had teams before. I've been part of teams before that don't meet expectations, and obviously we don't meet our expectations at all. I mean, right now we're a bad football team, but now I say that, and I believe in our guys. I mean, we've got great kids in the program. They feel as bad as I do. They feel as bad as maybe the loyal Aztec fans do, and they're working extremely hard to try to get it better. But right now we're a bad football team, and to have a chance to win any games, we got to get a whole lot better.
And Rocky, you've had years on the job. How do you flip that? How do you take that bad situation and flip it?
Well, every team has a different personality, and every team has a different hot button. And I think we've done a terrible job of coaching because we haven't hit that hot button yet. There are some critical positions that are playing really poorly. I mean, at quarterback, we're playing really, really poorly, and you don't have a chance to win a game if your quarterbacks are playing bad, but I don't necessarily put that on the kids. Obviously, we're not coaching them well enough, or we're not putting them in the situations that they need to be in to perform well. So, I mean, it all comes back to coaching in my mind. I mean, every team has a different personality. You have to find their hot button, and obviously we haven't found their hot button yet, and we're working like crazy to find it, and I hope we find it soon.
Adam Dingwell, damage confidence, damage back, surely not the kid that came off the bench and rescued your season last year. What's different?
I wish I knew. I mean, obviously going the season, he had a bad bowl game. Going into the season, we didn't think that would have any effect on him. I think maybe the change in offensive thought process on offense, I think maybe it's damaged him or hurt him more than we thought it would. We went into the season not protecting him. I thought last year we protected him a whole bunch because we could run the ball. And this year we can't run the ball very well because our best running back's hurt and our offensive line's not playing the way we expected them to. And so there's a lot more pressure on the quarterback. And right now I think Adam's lost his confidence. And you can't play quarterback. You can't play any position without confidence, and we got to get his confidence back.
So how do you do that? And Rocky, how do you sit down the guy that is your starter, and how do you do that?
Well, first of all, you got to put him in situations in practice where he has success. And then right now he can't practice because of a back issue that has been with him for a long time, but I guess it got worse in the Ohio State game. So he's not going to practice all week this week, and hopefully he can start practicing next Tuesday. But he's missed a whole bunch of reps this week, so we're going to start Quinn Kaler and let Adam watch from the sidelines. You know, Adam, he came off the bench last year is when he played the best, and we'll see how Quinn does as the starter because sometimes it's much easier to come off the bench than being the starting quarterback.
Right. Rocky Long with us, talk to the Aztecs. Very unhappy bye week for them at 0-2 with a lot of problems. I will say this about Quinn Kaler. He looked rattled early. I thought he really settled into it, and I thought he got pretty competitive, and the team kind of responded to him the longer that Ohio State game went.
I thought the same thing. I thought he went in there, and I've never been in that situation in that kind of setting, but I thought he looked shaky early, too, and I thought the second half he seemed to be calm, cool, and collected, executed the offense, put the ball on the money. We actually caught some passes instead of dropping them, and we had a couple decent drives in the second half, which allowed, I thought, the defense allowed them a little rest period, and they played much better in the second half, too. We didn't play good, but at least we were competitive, and that's the first sign of maybe getting better.
Coach, how do you fix your offensive line?
I think that is them playing together, and then everybody says, well, you're switching them on and off, and there's a lot of reasons for that. We have a couple of those guys that are beat up that were ready to play and couldn't play. we've settled in on the 5 starters, and they're going to get they've gotten all the reps this week. They're going to get all the reps next week, and we're just going to hope that they get better. I think we got a couple quality guys up there, but we've got a couple young guys up there that are making a lot of assignment errors that is really hard on quarterbacks and running backs.
Rocky, let me ask you about what happened in the midst of that Ohio State game. I noticed a sense long distance, and I don't know whether you got into them, whether you challenged them to emotionally and physically compete. I thought the whole persona of the defense in the second half was very different than what we saw happen in the first half. Did they respond? Were you all over their case?
Well, I think I said it earlier. We got great kids, and they're not pro football players. You know, we can't trade them. We can't get someone off the wires. We can't take a guy off the practice squad. We've got great kids, and they know they weren't competing. They know they played poorly in the first game, and they know they played poorly in the second game. They know. And I thought, there's a positive when you're getting beat up and dominated that bad, that your kids don't give up and they start fighting harder and they compete harder. And I thought that's what we did in the second half, because I've been around teams in that situation. They would have scored 80 points. They would have just given up, and the other team would have scored 80 because they were so dominant. But that just shows you the character of our kids. I just hope they start playing better so that everybody can pat them on the back once again.
Is Adam back to full speed, Rocky, or is he still nursing that ankle injury a little bit?
He's still nursing it a little bit, but the bye week was perfect for him, and we hope Derek Largent, too, because Derek's a big-time player on our defense that hadn't been able to play. We're hoping the week off will get them 100%. I think Adam Moema will be 100% by game time. I don't think Largent will be.
Good stuff. Hey, Rocky, let me ask you a sidebar question. I don't know if you got the chance to see the Eagles-Redskins game on the weekend. You've obviously had glimpses at Oregon and the dynamics of what Chip Kelly did up there. Does what he did at Oregon work in the NFL over a 16-game schedule?
Well, I'm glad that the NFL is having the pain that all those college coaches have had for the last 5 or 6 years, because every spread team you play in college that does what they're doing in the NFL right now, you can't stop it. The only way you can stop it is a dominant defensive line. Otherwise, you can't stop it. And the NFL won't stop it either. Now, I say that, but quarterbacks do get beat up, and they're paying those guys way too much money to get beat up. So I don't think it'll last in the NFL, because the quarterbacks are so high-priced, and they will get beat up.
Well, this will be fun. Fun to see what happens, obviously, with the Chargers going to play this offense, and obviously Texas A&M, Alabama. The whole nation is waiting for Johnny Manziel in that matchup there against Bama and A.J. McCarron. Rocky, thanks for being with us. We'll catch you next week as you get ready for Oregon State weekend. Appreciate it as all.
Thanks a lot,
guys.